Hello, all you beautiful people. Welcome to your blue full moon in Aquarius pick a card reading. This is going to be reaching its peak of energy on August 22nd, around 6:02 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. So wherever you're at in the world, you can figure that one out. But we are going to be picking 3 different readings, and you can choose as many as you want. Reading number 1 is actually going to be the full moon in Aquarius. Number 2 is going to be the blue moon. And number 3 is going to be surrendering to the divine, which is the actual just a full moon in general. So you can choose any of these. We're going to jump into number 1 first. Timestamps for the others will be in the description box below if you want to jump to any of these others. But real quick, the blue moon, the reason why it's a blue moon is normally in a season like, summer, fall, whatever, we'll have 3 full moons. And then every once in a while, like they say, every once in a blue moon, we'll have 4 full moons during a season. And usually the 3rd full moon is the blue moon, or sometimes people will also assign the blue moon to the 2nd moon in a month. When it happens that way as well. But this full moon in Aquarius on August 22nd has been deemed with the title of blue moon for this year. So we're going to go ahead and jump into number 1. And like I said, if you want to jump to the other ones, the description box below has those timestamps. So here we go. All right, if you chose reading number 1, which is the full moon in Aquarius, it says, show the world the real you. And with this energy that comes with a full moon, the Aquarian energy, that's what brings you a gift. This Aquarian water bearer is what shows you what you're truly thirsty for. And in this the water that it has, that it's pouring out here, that is the living waters that does quench our thirst, and that is the unconditional love of the creator of spirit, on the other side. So the gift that this brings is showing us what we truly are thirsty for, not what we've been told to believe. So the message that comes along with this, and I did want to make sure also to mention that all these cards here are these Moonology Oracle cards. They're great, beautiful, so much information about the moons and guidance as well. So if you're interested in those, then now you know where to get them. But the message that comes along with this is about detaching a little, at least, from the situation that's been on your mind and consuming a lot of your thoughts and your energy. And like it says, it's time to connect to the real you and be courageous enough to show that real you to the world. You don't have to be, searching or, shrinking yourself to be what you think others want you to be. So there's this message too with this about, especially coming into the fall equinox coming up, it's about what you're ready to let go of, what you're ready to have fall away, old ways of thinking, old definitions of yourself, old definitions of your worth, those things falling away, because the waters on the outside world, all those supposed tos and shoulds and everything else we've been searching after, haven't been quenching our thirst. They make us thirstier. And so this energy that's coming in for the Aquarian moon is what brings you that awareness and what you truly want. And then you start to feel, your thirst quenched, your hunger satisfied, this drive that you're having, you feel more energized moving toward it instead of exhausted, like you're crawling through a desert about to die from your severe thirst of life. So we're going to put that to the side here. And then we're going to pull some cards just to see what the creator wants you to know about what you're ready to let go of. I do have fall equinox readings that are going to be coming out soon. And so that'll help you also identify what you're ready to let kind of go. I did put out some Lionsgate portal readings on August 8th that also has a lot about what you're ready to surrender. So links to the Lionsgate playlist will be at the end of this video, so you can check that out if you want to get some more. And it was by zodiac sign, so you can check that out for your specific sign. But for this full moon, we're going to start out by pulling one of these Queen of the Moon Oracle cards and just see what the Creator wants you to know about this beautiful Aquarian energy, identifying the real you, what you're ready to let go of that's not you. All right, Creator. I guess that shows reading number 1. What do you want them to know? Get a real obvious, clear message. We always like those. And that is it. So we'll do this one here. Yep, and you've got number 21, which is resilience. Like that there. And yeah, you definitely, like from the full moon, you can see that you're already starting to let go of things because the moon is not as full. So you're already moving into that period of time here. The waning is actually perfect because waxing is when you're growing from a new moon to a full moon, like wax on, and then you wane off. So that's heading back to the from a full moon to a new moon. And so the burden that you're having here, you're aware of what you're letting go of. And it's very obvious to you what is no longer serving you because you feel like, open right up to the page. You're realizing, like, why am I still carrying all this? Why am I investing so much energy into this? I know it's not for my, best, highest experience any longer, so I'm ready to let it go. So resilience, it says making mistakes builds resilience. I've learned my lesson from the mistakes I've made. I stand strong. I'm an adult and I act with self-responsibility. Little kind of affirmation for this is I am strong and resilient. And it goes on to say, as we stretch and expand towards our intentions, we'll most likely meet resistance or, wait for it, make mistakes or fail altogether. And this is where resilience, confidence, and our inner will come into play. We might ask ourselves, how much do we really want what we're going for? Does what we want align with our needs and values? Are we really devoted to having it? Do we think we are enough? Do we have the strength to keep going? While all of us at some time have to go through periods of imbalance and difficulty, even of suffering, it's important we learn to grow and rely on our resilience. And this is true power from the inside out. Building our reserves of resilience, this ability to stand strong and bounce back, is something that has at its heart wisdom and learning taken from our experience. Having resilience allows us the solidity and yet the freedom to grow and take that leap to the next level. That allows us to reach higher with a stability that makes things less risky and allows us to create with a bit more pleasure. Remember, mistakes are simply information gathering. That's it. The less drama and guilt and shame you attach to those mistakes, the better. The experience of failure or mistakes is simply one of learning, and that's all. And as we move around to the lunar cycle and in life, we can see how things may have occurred before and that we have experience in how to handle them. Even if we don't have direct experience, we can build resilience as an insurance policy against being devastated by the opinions of others, right? While someone might say something nasty about us, when we compare this to what we know to be true about ourselves, it truly is no great hurt and really just a piece of information gathering. And I love that because this is all about showing the world who you really are. And a lot of times when we get that, external opinions that are judging us and that may have hurt, the words that may have hurt us in our past, when we realize who we truly are, those things, like it says, are just information. It actually reflects back to us how we feel about ourselves. It only impacts us if we believe what they are saying might be true, right? Otherwise, we're just like, that's BS. It also, so that reflection back to us really shows us how we feel about ourselves. And it also gives us information on how that person feels about themselves, because everyone only sees the world through their own eyes, through their own conditions and filters, and how they see themselves is how they see the world. So if they are saying things, you're a liar, then it's like, oh wow, so they feel they're a liar somehow. Or they, like, you're a backstabber, you're like, okay, so they feel they're backstabbing somehow. It's really about what's going on in their inner world as well. So it's information. The companion stone or metal for this is azurite. So if you're into the stones and crystals, then that is for you. But I definitely love this discovery of self, because the true you is not this human character that's this avatar that you're have chosen to be able to play this game. You're the player behind the avatar. You're the actor behind the character. And so as you realize that this character is not you, then you can connect more to the actor side of you to remember who you really are. We're going to get more information on this, of course. We're going to pull a card here from the Shaman's Dream Oracle and just see what else the creator would like you to know about this discovery of the real you, discover of your real passions of life, what it is you truly desire as you move beyond all that supposed tos and shoulds and need tos and have tos that the opinions of the world have told you you're supposed to be, supposed to seek after, etc., blah blah blah, right? All that long list of expectations that gives us that wonderful feeling of shrinking and limitation and smallness and frustration and exhaustion, all those beautiful, beautiful emotions. All right. And then you got the Wall, Obstacles. That's card number 56, and I'll kind of zoom in so you can see that a little more clearly there. Beautiful imagery. And let's see what energy comes in with that. So the Wall, obstacles, being inconvenienced by life, detours, non-action. This is, there's moments in your life when you are so geared up, so sure that you're on track with such drive and momentum that you're shocked and confused when you encounter a wall, right? Or like a mistake, like this said. This unpredictability occurs outside your ability to plan, regardless if you've done everything right in alignment with the divine. It's imperative that you change your attitude now. This temporary roadblock is not an obstacle to blast through. This is not an invitation to push harder, cancel other plans, or worry about who will win or lose. This is a stopping point to enable you to slow down and contemplate the part of the manifesting equation that you and everyone else forgets. Life on life's terms will override your best laid plans. So true, right? When reality doesn't end up with our expectations, that's when the inner conflict begins. And it says, yes, and as inconvenient as it may seem, this experience is an important reminder that you are a human being, not a human doing. Perhaps you're being reminded of your mortality, or that you are but a small part of a bigger universe where your destiny interacts with others or intersects with others. Your life may be meant to serve another purpose at this moment, and your attention meant to be directed elsewhere. So consider that this place of temporary non-action is exactly meant to be for you. Perhaps it's because all you desire and have set in motion needs time to coalesce into form on the other side. Could it be that all the elements are not yet in place for its manifestation to be for the highest good of all? Patience is required now, and the wisdom that this might be a great time to take a break and contemplate gratitude. What is truly yours will never be walled off from you. So perfect message that just coincides with everything we're talking about here, right? It's saying that there's the wall that you're hitting now is a wall. It's like a stop, saying stop. The railroad little bars came down to keep you from going over the track because there's something about to pass in front of you that will destroy your car. So it's like this is happening for you, for your purposes. And in this moment of pause is where you can look and see what it is that you truly want. And, as both these cards have been kind of saying is, are you really wanting to invest all that energy into that thing? This pause is to give you that moment of pause in all that action so that you can really understand what it is that you want to head toward, what you are ready to let go of, these things that may be no longer serving you that you're ready to let go of. And of course, we're going to dig a little deeper. I'm going to use these everyday tarot just to see what other information the Creator would like to provide you regarding these. What to let go of, what it is you're truly searching for. Any validation, confirmation, or new information. We will take whatever we can get to help us on this beautiful maze through life. All right, Creator, what else do you want them to know about this full moon energy that's coming in for them? And of course, this happens on August 22nd, so I always send out this alert a week early because it can start impacting you a week before, and then like 2 weeks after the full moon up until the new moon. So this can be like a 3-week period for you. If you come across this outside of that period, I always say follow your gut and listen to it anyway, because if your intuition brought you here and your guides brought you here, then there's a reason, of course. All right, so you got the 7 of Wands. And this is perfect for what we're talking about here too. Wands is your drive, your ambition, and this shows an individual that they're defending themselves. So 2 pieces of this: the physical, earthly self. Your ego feels on fire, defending itself against all these things, all these opinions that we're talking about here. It's like you can feel like you're on this place where you have to defend yourself. And when you have those emotions pop up within you, whenever we go into fight or flight, we either flee and shrink, or we fight and become defensive. So if you're finding that you're defensive, then that is one of these places where you can pause and then look inward to see what is triggering that, what belief about yourself. Are you believing what they're saying? Is that why you're getting agitated? Because your ego's whispering to you, saying, you know what, they might be right, you are a liar. And they're like, oh my God, what? And I am not a liar, you guys are the liars. And then battle ensues, right? The other piece of this is it's also, the wands are your fire, your spiritual side. And there's this beautiful, the Light Seers Tarot. I love how they show someone that's in this big bubble of energy and love, and people are trying to poke and prod and burst the bubble. But you also can use that fire just to protect yourself, where you don't have to, as people pounce forward with all their opinions and all those accusations, that it can just bounce off that. Because when you're solid in your spiritual side of who you really are, then you just see these things as not a huge impact on you. I'm reading a book, and I keep forgetting the author's name, but it's like the 33 steps to your connecting to your higher self, something along those lines. And in it, he mentions that, imagine yourself in your city where you're at 300 or 400 feet tall. And then realizing you're this higher being, you're not this smaller self, but you're this huge self. And when you feel yourself attached to the universe and being so big, the little things, and even some what we think are big things, seem so small. And, an ant doesn't do much damage to you when you're wearing boots. You don't even realize the ant is there. Whereas if you have shrunken and you're small at the same size of the ant, it looks like a monster, right? And so this energy that comes with this is seeing yourself as this bigger person. And then you have the 9 of Wands, which is actually what we kind of call the resilience. You're almost to the end. You're almost to the 10 is endings and new beginnings. And so you're really at this point where you're ready. You're almost to the end. Don't give up. And I love this way they portray this, because you have your hand on your Ace of Wands, which is your drive, your spirit connection. And when you use that ability and remove that, you can walk through the obstacle. It really is not an obstacle at all for you. So, which, here again, obstacles and resilience. The kind of the spiritual energy piece of that too is being aware of how much of everyone else's energy that you're taking on. I love that this is the wall here, and this is the wall here, and that you, in timing, when it's for your highest good, that's when you remove this obstacle and move through. And then all this energy of others that you're taking on and owning really comes back to this, getting to know the real you instead of all these opinions and expectations on the outside. Because when we're in this human form and in our ego, we're taught that we're responsible for everyone else's happiness. So if I don't listen to other people's opinions and do what they are telling me I should do, or be who they're thinking I should be, then all their disappointments and all their sadness or anger are our fault, and we take on all that energy. But when you realize, like I said, when you stand from that huge piece of who you are and you realize, what? I choose my emotions. I'm responsible for my emotions and no one else's. And they're responsible for their own emotions. And our actions can make it harder or easier for someone to choose happiness and peace and unconditional love. But ultimately, it's their choice, right? And this is what that freedom that comes with that. And it kind of, because you have the 7 of Wands, the 9 of Wands, and the 8 of Wands. So 7, 8, and 9. And the 8 of Wands, I really feel are these messages of love, this communication coming, wands, being spirit. You're getting these messages from these spiritual winged beings. So you are getting these messages that are coming to you, and they're coming quickly during this period. So I really feel as you connect here to your higher self, that in this pause, things get really quiet to where you can hear the whispers of love. Otherwise you always are hearing all this other noise from the outside. But with this pause, it's almost like it gives you the space to get quiet and still, whether it's getting out in nature or taking a hot bath, or is it going for a bike ride or painting or yoga or whatever it might be that brings you to this quiet space where all that external noise gets, you turn down that volume, then you get to, hear those messages more clearly, because they speak on a kind of a frequency of unconditional love and peace and joy and laughter. So if you're not on that frequency and you're down here in the anger and despair, all you hear is that loud noise. It's very hard to hear those whispers. So, when you get up to that, then boom. And then you got the Page of Swords, which is new thoughts, new beliefs, releasing the old. You have the Ace of Swords in your hands, which is what you use to cut away the old beliefs. And we were talking about what you're ready to let go of. This is you being able to do that. And, the page is also a messenger, if I could talk. And you can see it even has Mercury's, Apollo's little wings, because he's the winged messenger. But this is new thoughts, new beliefs, new messages coming into your mind. And so these spiritual messages that you're getting can also be these amazing ideas and these messages that out of nowhere, these thoughts just get triggered. It's like they touch something in your brain where you have a memory that pops in for no reason whatsoever, and realize those are messages from that side. The other thing that the Page of Swords brings me is the page is usually a young child. And so that is a message of going back to the way of thinking of a child before you had all that suppression of all those should be's, supposed to be's, and need to be's, and opinions from the outside world. Before you had the bad girl, bad boy, good boy. That praise and punishment that made us feel small and shrink and not be who we really are, but being who everyone else was thinking we should be, so that we wouldn't get ostracized and punished, or that we would get what we're wanting. You're a good boy because you did that, so do more of that and you'll get more candy, or you'll get more Nintendo time or Xbox time, or whatever, whatever it is that encourages you to change your behavior and who you are to be that. So I love how that's all coming together here. We're also going to pull a card here as we end up closing on your reading here from the Sacred Creators. We're just going to see what message comes in here for you. All right, Creator, what else? That's the one. It didn't want to jump. It wanted me to personally handle it. Yeah, so rise. Number 57? 57, yeah. So rise. Really, that's be the real you, right? Rise and shine. Let's see what comes with this. Yeah, so this is about being ready to rise, a rebirth, second chances, redos, new opportunities, stepping up to your potential, and announcements. So messages, right? The self-care message is that there's endings, the need for acceptance of defeat before the rebirth, knowing when it's time to stop, a time to implement changes before you can rise again. So perfect. So it says you are ready. You feel it in your soul and you hear it in your heart. You're ready to step up, unveil your brilliance, and run across the fields, shouting your dream to the world. Reach out and reveal a piece of your plan and share a part of your magic. Think bigger this time. You're going to rise higher than you ever have before, so you're going to need a grander entrance. Give yourself permission to openly pursue the giant, badass goal that you've got. As you let it loose and try it on for size, you'll untether your potential beyond anything that you can fathom. Start to ask, why not me? And realize that it's your turn to rise. If something is coming to a halt, or if you've recently suffered an unpleasant blow to your momentum, this card illuminates a time for second chances. You're being gifted a redo with all of the rebirth energy of the Phoenix. And this time, you get to decide just how far you fly. Take a moment to regroup and implement any changes that are needed, and then open your wings and rise. How perfect is that? So take a moment to regroup and implement any changes, what you're letting go, and then open your wings and rise. And the questions it asks here is, how hard are you on yourself? How are you keeping yourself down? Are you motivating yourself as much as you would others? Are you rising up like a warrior and upping your inner dialogue and your self-love right along with your skills, your promotional materials, and your to-do list? Does your outer success match your inner glow? Beautiful. I love that. And then the last card we're going to pull here for your reading is these divine directions, just to see what the final message from the Creator is for all of you that chose reading number 1, the full moon in Aquarius. Whoa. So not all those, they said just this one, which, hello, birth. So this is a time of new beginnings. Embrace the new life with open arms, like what this just talked about, your rebirth. So love the synchronicities with all of this. And just know, as you go throughout this 3-week period, as this new pause and energy and connection to your higher self, your true self, comes flowing out, every second of every day, you are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things, and I love you too. Have an amazing full moon, and we will surely talk to you very soon. You take care now. All right, and if you chose reading number 2, which is the blue moon, it says believe in the impossible, beautiful blue moon, and this is your reading. I'm just going to move this over here. Now, as I mentioned in the beginning, the blue moon, the reason they call it a blue moon is that most seasons usually have 3 moons in it, and every once in a blue moon, we'll have 4 full moons in a season, and it's usually the 3rd full moon or the 2nd full moon within a month that is deemed the blue moon, and this one particular is the 3rd in the season, and they're deeming it the blue moon, so that is why it's that. And I love this strong message about believing in the impossible. In fact, when I was pulling this card out, I was feeling this message from Spirit. They kept on repeating, believe, believe, believe in the impossible. And so, you know, the blue moon, of course, this energy is all about rare opportunities. And when a rare opportunity, it's like winning Powerball, right? It's like a 1 in a million or billion chance. And so this rare opportunity comes up, and the question that is built into all that is, do you feel worthy of receiving this rare opportunity? So some things that we want to question as we're going into this is, do I feel that I'm worthy? And also to attune to that blue moon energy. We can focus on gratitude for what is, for what we already have, and gratitude for what it is that we're seeking from the blue moon as well. So, you know, if it's, you know, a deeper relationship, an opportunity with career or job, or a physical opportunity into, you know, purchasing a home or different things like that, when we get into our worth and understanding what it is we really want, which is kind of that Aquarian energy, is what are we truly wanting out of life? When we can sit in that, and then we can decide that we want to move towards something, and that this is truly what I want in my life, then we move forward with that gratitude, thanking the Creator for bringing the opportunities, that rare opportunity into our life. And when we're thankful for it, instead of focusing on, I don't have that, I don't have that, I don't have that, that lack energy says, yeah, they don't want it, they don't want it, they don't want it. But when you have gratitude and are thankful for what you do have, and thankful for what, you know, the Creator will bring to us, that's for our highest experience. You know, we can say, you know, I would like to have that, you know, little home that I want to buy, and the finances to be able to afford it, and you know, that's where the thy will be done, thy will, not mine, because we trust the Creator that you're going to give us the best experience. You know, that whole, thank God for unanswered prayers. You know, it's like, oh, thank you for not giving me what I asked for earlier, because you knew that you had something better for me, you know. And so it's that gratitude and thankfulness in our asking that brings in beautiful, beautiful energy. Before I continue on, just want to let you know that these cards are from this Moonology Oracle deck, which is a beautiful deck. So if you were curious, then now you know. So we're also going to start here by pulling some additional cards. This is the Queen of the Moon Oracle. And we're going to see what the creator, what else the creator wants you to know about these rare opportunities coming up here. What does the creator want you to know about this blue moon energy? And I didn't say it in the very beginning, but I put out these full moon alerts like a week before the actual full moon. So it could, all this information can be impacting you from a week before the full moon, all the way up to 2 weeks after the full moon, up until the new moon. So it's like this 3-week period. And of course, if you're coming across this outside that time frame, trust your intuition. If it brought you here, there's messages for you. Creator's not bound by time or space, so there's messages if you were brought here. So, and then just one more time in here. All right, Creator, what else do you want our lovely individuals who chose reading number 2, our blue mooners? What else do you want them to know about this period of time here for that energy? Nope. They said keep going. Okay, so they said this one. Okay, actually you do get 2, so we will take both of these. So you've got Purify. It's the snow moon. And that's number 30. Oh, I love how she's dancing there in the middle there. And yeah, and you've got snowy forest there too, which is very synchronistic. And then you have the unexpected blue moon. Can't make it up. You just can't make it up. That's card number 43. So we're going to put these in the middle. So they're always like changing it up. The unexpected. I didn't expect 2 cards, so we will go with the one that came out first, which is the Purify. And it says, look for the simplest and cleanest solution. Understand your motives for doing what you're doing. Be as clear as possible in your communication. The affirmation is, I know why I do what I do. Which is so cool about what we were talking about, be clear in your intentions of what it is that you really want, that thing that you're going to apply the blue moon energy to. Is it really what you want, or is it what you think you want because it's told what you should want? And so getting to the root of that. The word purify now seems to have a kind of loaded moral quality. Anytime I mention the word, people mostly think about how it's used in religions or in morals. For example, the purity of virgins, the purity of no sex before marriage, the purity of celibacy, the purity of bloodline of certain extreme right-wing groups. No wonder we use the word with some trepidation. The purity that I refer to here is the purity of the silver moon on the unmarked snow. The simple purity of intention that nature demonstrates. The purity of clean water in a mountain stream. The purity of one single purpose. The Cambridge Dictionary defines this kind of purity as being clean or free from harmful substances. And I guess in our world, so full of pollution and damage to the environment, that may well be hard to find. However, the ancients looked at the cycles that brought ice and snow as a sort of reset button, a time when everything lay fallow for a while, and brought with it a kind of simplicity. These times were hard, but if we were prepared for them, we would survive. There are good reasons to strive for a kind of positive purity in our lives. Being precise with our language and as clear as we can be in our communications means fewer miscommunications and misunderstandings in our relationships and work life. Keeping our intentions pure and untainted with lower energies, such as jealousy, revenge, or unworthiness, as much as possible means that our motivations are purer and not muddy in their reasoning. And the companion stone with this is clear quartz. And again, I really feel like it's being purity in your intentions, understanding what it is you truly want, because asking for something that is not what your true self wants or what is best for your path will most likely not unfold, because it's not something you truly want. It's just something that you think you're wanting, like out of fear or out of feelings of your worth. You're applying those things to your worthness instead of that. These are beautiful things that are coming in that are expressing who you are, not defining who you are. And then we're going to look at this. It just cracks me up that the blue moon came out for the blue moon. But let's see what else it tells us here for you. Okay, as it says, it's the unexpected. So no matter how well you plan, there's always room for the unexpected to occur. Build your resilience as rare occurrences can happen. A visitor you've not seen in a long time may re-enter your life. Uh-oh. It's always going to happen for you, not to you. Just remember that. And it says, the affirmation is, I trust in myself and in life. In the old farmer's almanacs, a blue moon was described as the third full moon in a season that has 4 full moons. The newer and now more accepted description is that a blue moon is when there are 2 full moons in 1 calendar month. Either way, it's a rare occurrence and has inspired the saying, once in a blue moon, when describing an event or behavior that only happens rarely. The energy and power of the blue moon can be best taken advantage of by setting intentions on these moons of things that you really want but have never felt could happen. I refer to big wishes, the almost miracle stuff we would be both delighted and surprised about if it manifested. After setting blue moon intentions, though, don't sit there hoping it will just happen. Try to take a clear, practical steps towards these big, seemingly faraway intentions and help the universe along. Some of us love surprises. Some of us don't. But I don't think anyone can go through life without sometimes having the unexpected happen to them. While some professions in particular, such as the military and medicine, try to plan for everything that could go wrong, life sometimes finds a way to outsmart the most thorough of plans. No kidding. This is simply life. Although it's important for us to know where, how, and why we're traveling down a particular path, we should always make room for and expect the unexpected. And the companion stone for this card is Benitoite, Benitoite. I might have murdered that. My apologies. But it says it's a very rare blue gem. So perfect. Nothing more to add to that. And then we're going to pull a card here from the Shaman's Dream deck and just see what else the creator wants you to know about this blue moon energy. But I am loving this message. All right, creator, what else do you want our blue mooners to know about this energy? Here. Yep, and you got the deep diver diving into a task, number 10. And definitely a lot of blue in this card. It doesn't show up so much. Yeah, there it goes. See how blue that is? We're going to put that right here. It's number 10, which is endings and new beginnings. Let's see what energy I want you to know about here. Yep, embracing risk, diving into a task, new discovery. So it's easy to play in the shallows where the waters are clear and you can see all that glitters by your feet. Anyone can venture here. There's little risk, nothing to discover, no dark secret, nothing that you can't already perceive. The treasure has long been picked away, replaced by a gentle certainty. In the shallow river is safety and no surprises. Nothing unexpected, right? But that's not who's calling you now. The deep diver invites you to take the plunge with him. You can't see the bottom, but you must swim into the dark depths to find the mystery that eludes you now. He knows where the pearl lies underneath the ancient sands. You're called to look beyond the surface of things for your answer. Let your intuition propel you into the water, allowing your memories to swirl around you and your emotions to well up as you face the unknown. Your curiosity will be your greatest guide. You'll surely discover something wondrous to bring back to everyone who's waiting by the shore. But only you will truly know the value of your discovery. Are you willing to do the work? Dive in, make the commitment to see it through, and you'll be amazed. So, yeah, as this was saying, you know, what are those things, those big wishes, those things that you didn't think that you were going to be able to do and happen in your life? And it says, take those steps, do the work, make the jump, make the leap, use that blue moon energy. So, definitely looks like a clear message to me. But we're definitely going to get some more clarification here with these everyday tarot and just see what else the Creator wants you to know about this energy and this unexpected, this dream that you would love to have, and what's holding you back. You know, why aren't you going for that? Why do you think it's impossible? Why? Believe in the impossible. Hey, Creator, what else do you want them to know about this energy? Okay, any others? Okay, no, these are it. So you got the Four of Swords. This is swords are your thoughts, your mind sets, your beliefs, your attitudes. And obviously you can see it's putting your mind to rest. And what I love about this card, the Three of Swords usually represents heartbreak, disappointment. And for me, I call it the expectations card. It usually has like a heart with the 3 swords stabbed in it, which makes it, you know, our heart is pricked. And I always say that our heart isn't broken, it just gets stabbed into fight or flight mode. That little pain in our heart is fight or flight kicking in, like someone startled you. It's like, and it starts our whole, you know, flood of adrenaline and all our defense mechanisms or attack mechanisms, you know, with the fight or flight. And so that's all up there. But the Ace of Swords is down here. That is what you're able to cut away old beliefs, old ways of thinking, old attitudes about things. And so this is when you get this peace and this rest of mind, because you're clearing away those beliefs that are keeping you from your dreams. So when I asked, what is it that's keeping you from believing that, it's all this opinions and all these conditionings that you've had growing up. You know, it's kind of like I just see this picture of this little child who's drawing with colors, and they're making these, you know, for their age, just, you know, really nice art and stuff. And they're like, I want to be an artist when I grow up. And they're like, oh, no, you can't do that. That's never going to bring you enough money. You need to do something else. That'll be a hobby. And then your dreams are squelched and limited and shoved down. And it's like, well, that was my dream. And it's like returning to the dream that you had as a child. You know, and this is a general reading, so it's going to, of course, vary by every individual, but that's like that feeling that I'm getting there. We have the 10 of Wands here. Wands is all about your fire, your drive, your passions, and your spiritual energy. And it can be emotional energy as well. You know, the cups are the emotions piece, but this is like all this spiritual energy that you've taken on from others. And, you know, it makes so much sense, you know, when we're talking about all these expectations, all these wands are everyone else's plans for your life and thoughts for your life, should be's, have to's, need to's, supposed to be's. And so this is like, again, with a 10 and this being the 10, you're ready for endings and new beginnings. You're ready to set all that energy down, and you're just gonna, all that energy that you're using to invest in all that stuff is going to come back to you, that you can apply to making these dreams come true here. Yeah. And 7 of Swords, for me, this is, people say it's like the thief card, the trickster, those types of things. There's two messages in this reading for you. One of them is that these are thoughts that you've already started to leave behind that no longer serve you. You still have, some in your hands here. And for me, it's not external tricksters that this card represents, but how am I fooling myself? Why am I, what lies am I telling myself? And that has to go back to these expectations and stuff here of that, oh, I'm not worthy of that, or I can't do that, I'm not smart enough, and blah, blah, blah. All these limitations, self-imposed limitations that you're putting on yourself. It's like you get to look past that, you get to look beyond that, because that's not you. You get to, when you look at that, and it's purifying, is purifying your mind and getting rid of those thoughts and those beliefs that no longer serve you. And they weren't bad. They were simply experiences that you wanted to experience, because we did come here to feel what it might feel like to feel limited and oppressed and suppressed and feel all that. Because on the other side, we're unlimited and powerful and supernatural and eternal, and we can be like in a billion places all at the same time and comprehend being in a billion places all at the same time. That's our capacity of, being the children of the creator of all things. The creator has that ability and we have that ability. But here, we get to understand that power we have on the other side by being able to feel its opposites here in so many ways. And so those thoughts and everything we did it for a reason. We've experienced them for a reason. But now with this blue moon energy, you're ready for a transition in your life out of that. And you got the Two of Cups here. So here's the Ace of Cups, which the Ace of Cups is what I call the Holy Grail, or the chalice. It's what holds that living waters of like the Aquarian water bearers. They bring the living waters that quench your thirst. And what we're thirsty for, this is our human side and this is our spiritual side. And it's this joining together. She's offering and bringing that unconditional love to our small self. And that's what quenches our thirst. And so a big piece of this, understanding what you really want in life is with you connecting to your higher self. And here you guys are too here. So you're in this together, understand what it is you really want, and using that energy to be able to express the unconditional love that's in your heart to the world in your own special and unique way. So if you're like, oh, I really don't know what it is I want to do with my life, I'm so confused by all these opinions and everything that came from the outside, just know that if you can get quiet and get away from everything, get out into nature, away from all that noise and all the responsibilities and all the questions and all the opinions, just disconnect from everything and sit still. Breathe till the noise drifts away, and then just look into your heart and ask yourself, what makes your heart sing? What brings you joy? Not what makes you happy. Happy is usually expectations being fulfilled, all those external expectations. Okay, I'm happy now. But joy comes from just this, for no reason whatsoever. It just bellies up within you. And you can ask yourself, okay, this love and this passion that I have, how do I want to express that to the world? How do I enjoy expressing that love? And that can help you with all that. All right, and then we're almost done with your reading here. And we're going to pull a card here from the Sacred Creators deck and see what else the Creator would like you to know about this beautiful blue moon energy. Creator, what else? What else do you want the blue mooners to know? Okay, these two. You are getting double blessings. Look at that. Double. So you got unstick the stuck. We'll put that over here with the purify. And you got limitations inspire innovations. So, yep, getting beyond your limitations for sure. So let's see, that's number 46 for the unstick the stuck. You got, yep, busting out of sticky energy, breaking stagnation, seeing the pattern of your rut, integrating a message or a lesson, success. And the self-care message is stagnation, too much energy causing a traffic jam, a need to focus, seeking motivation and clarity. It's time to bust through the confines of the current pattern that you've got going on. This may be an overall sticky pattern that you are experiencing, or it may be showing up in one small area of your life. Either way, it's time to dust away stagnant energy and give things a fresh glow. No more stalling. If a situation, a relationship, an expectation, or unwanted responsibility weighs heavily on your heart, or if the dense energy of habit is making you feel like you have limited control over your circumstances, it's time to look at the relationship you have with your rut. Is it so familiar that it feels like it's a part of you? Or could it be serving you in some sneaky way? Like it was talking about the shallows, right? Sometimes our ego accepts the rut because it keeps challenges, fears, and possible failures at bay. Remember that you always have a choice to find the tools, help, and energy that you need. Unstick the stuck to welcome your momentum and the willpower to achieve. Commit to one idea and action and usher in a Commit to one idea and action and usher in a dynamic trajectory for your future. Your body is not trapping you. Your family is not trapping you. Your luck is not trapping you. Your life circumstances are not trapping you. What excuses are you holding on to? What is it that got you stuck? Modern life can be so over the top that it can cause a traffic jam of epic proportions. Could you be missing cues that you're tired, exhausted, or needing rest? So yeah, definitely this is about that. You know, all those things aren't trapping you. You are trapping you. Your thoughts and beliefs are trapping you. And I really like that too, how it talks about here about, you know, you can be in the shallow waters where all the treasures are already picked and you're just walking along and nothing to find and you're in that rut. And the steep dive is about going beyond all that. Then we're going to look at here, number 52, which is limitations inspire innovations. This is about possibility, a bridge between worlds, innovative ways of thinking. I apologize that my tongue is not cooperating with my brain. So innovative ways of thinking, creative solutions arising because of the limited working materials, higher consciousness, which we're talking about with this card here. Self-care messages, believing that your limitations are permanent, settling for less, assuming limitation means failure. So which of the three words on this card grabbed most of your attention? Limitations, inspire, innovations. Did you get excited about the idea of being inspired, or about the amazing opportunity you have to create something totally innovative? Or did you immediately get sucked into the word limitation with a twinge of disappointment or a lament for the things that are going to happen today? This is an extremely positive card, despite any appearances to the contrary. When we have the self-awareness to sense our current limitations, we can clearly see the opportunities for improvement and progress. Adopt a mindset of self-mastery and see the hurdles for what they are. Self-imposed limitations. Lessons in disguise. Amazing opportunities for self-discovery and growth, and limiting beliefs that beg to be released. This limitation is not permanent. It is indeed changing rapidly, and you will transcend this barrier to your success. Allow your current limitations to motivate your growth. And then it says, brainstorm with the universe in a limited way. Pick a word. The first word that comes to mind is right. Or if you want to be sure that serendipity is stepping up to the plate, grab a book, open to a random page, and point to any word. That's your word. Trust that the universe gave you the right word. Then ask, how can I connect my current situation with this seemingly random idea? What would a truly creative solution look like if I incorporated, and insert the word there. So what would a truly creative solution look like if I incorporated, and then whatever word had come to you? I think that's it. Yep. I love that, especially with the unexpected. It's pointing, I like that, opening a book and pointing to it and just saying, what's that unexpected word? In fact, I feel like, doing that, scarcity. So scarcity is like, that could be, that actually is one of my huge challenges in my life, is that scarcity, the believing that there's not enough out there for me, for everyone, right? And not realizing that the universe is our source of everything. So, doing that is like, how can I work with that energy? So beautiful. And then lastly, we're going to pull one card here, or we'll see what pops out, but from these Sweet Dreams cards, and see what your final message from the Creator is for those blue mooners that chose reading number 2. Okay. Okay. And any others? And last pass. Okay, so it's just these two. And your first one is change. I embrace change in this new day, and I adapt to what is to come, to the unexpected. And flow. I now open myself to inspiration and watch creativity flow through me. So definitely cards that reiterate a lot of what we talked about. I love the synchronicities. I love this blue moon energy for you, and I'm excited to see what you do with this deep dive into your dreams, and using this energy. Don't wait around. Help the universe. Get that purity of what you really want in life. Make steps on how you're going to get there, and take a step each day, even if it's creating a vision board, whatever it is. Take steps towards living that dream, because you have all this beautiful energy behind you and support, and you're definitely not alone in it all. You've got your higher self and the whole posse of beings of unconditional love and light on the other side, that all you have to do, they won't mess with your free will, but you can ask them for assistance of your own free will, and they're dying to help you out. So don't limit yourself. And just know that as you go through this period of time here, and of course every second of every day, you are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things, and I love you too. You have an amazing full moon, and I guarantee I'll be talking with you soon. You take care now. If you chose reading number 3, which is just the full moon in general, this is about surrendering to the divine. And the message that comes with this card, by the way, these cards come from this Moonology Oracle deck here. So if you were interested in those, then now you know what the name of them are. But the energy that comes with this really is that you've, with the full moon, it means you've reached some goals, you've come to this fruition, and now you're ready to start letting go of those things that no longer serve you. So there's things that helped you get to that point, but on this reflection during this full moon energy, you look back and you're going, okay, now for my next step and where I want to go, I don't need that, I don't need that, I don't need that. So you don't need to invest energy, finances or whatever it might be, time into those things anymore, because they're not going to serve you for your next step. So that's, one piece of it. And then for others of you, general reading, of course, so this does impact people differently. You've done what you've needed to do. You've done all that you can do, and now it's time to surrender, to the Creator, surrender those outcomes and the hows to the Creator, to the divine. And so all that energy, that you have invested to do everything within your capability, within your possibilities, now you're like at this place, like, what's next? What else can I do? It's like, well, you've, from the last full moon, as the new moon approaches, what you do is you take all the old corn stalks out, because they're no longer going to grow corn husks on them. They don't regenerate over the next spring season or whatever. Those die out. So you take all that stuff up and you till the ground and you put all the nutrition into the ground and do all that, and then you plant the seeds, and then you're like, okay, universe, I'll make sure there's irrigation and water, but I need sunshine, and you're the one in control of the seeds growing into what it needs to become. And so you do your daily pulling the weeds and making sure it has water, protecting it from bugs. You do all the daily stuff, but the rest of it's up to the universe, right? You hand over that outcome to them. So that's really what I feel a lot with that. Excuse me. And we're also going to pull a card here from the Queen of the Moon Oracle. We're going to see what else the Creator wants you to know about this full moon energy. About what you're letting go of that no longer serves you, the surrendering the outcomes, whichever direction is for you, and you could have both of them happening in your life as well, because you might have like a lot of fields of crops out there, some at different stages, right? Such is the scheme of life, all right? So this card bump jumped out already for you, and you've got, this is the Wisdom number 22, which is the Master Builder, which is perfect as well. This happens to be the waning gibbous, which means this is as it's growing towards the full moon. I really feel that the energy for this one is about you've done what you can do, because it's growing towards the fulfillment. Whereas some of you, it was about, you've already reached this goal, the full moon, and you're more in the waning is about what you're letting go. The waxing, it's like wax on, wax off. Waxing is the growing, waning is the falling away. So, the waning gibbous is about that you've started to let go of things already, because you're no longer at the full moon. And the wisdom that you're gleaning about what that full moon was supposed to mean for you. I'll read from the book here in a sec, but I really feel like we're told a lot with a full moon that this thing is supposed to fulfill you, and as the moon fulls, to fulfill you, that it leaves you wanting and empty, and you're like, wow, that didn't bring me the feelings and that wholeness that I thought it was going to. And then it starts to fall away, and then you start to really realize the things that you want in your life. And that's where this wisdom comes in with the Master Builder too, because you realize that you get to build your life. You get to determine from inside out what it is you truly want in life, instead of all the opinion from the outside in. And it says, wisdom is more than mere knowledge. There may be something that you aren't seeing and need to research more thoroughly. Wisdom is gathered, but it takes time. Learn from your experience. You might wish to ask the opinion of a wise mentor if you're uncertain. And the affirmation is, I use my knowledge and experience to make wise decisions. Goes on to say, it's often said that the body has its own innate wisdom. If healthy, it just knows what to do and does what it needs to keep us alive and moving without thinking too much about it. Most of the time, we aren't aware of trying to keep our heart beating or of breathing when asleep. Thank goodness. Similarly, we have this innate reasoning system, intuition, that allows us to get answers or receive information without conscious thinking. It's that feeling or hunch of information or insight that is just there. Some people believe this is the wisdom we receive from the gods, the very spark of the divine voice that is left within us. This is a very old kind of wisdom that sits in a very old part of the brain. Then there's the gathering of knowledge and experience that we discern and learn from this. It's the result. If the result has acuity, if it is successful in the real world and good in sense and perception, it's most probably wise. The getting of wisdom takes time usually, and we can be impatient for it. We might cut corners and not see the role we take in our own poor decision making. To me, though, as modern people, we have millennia of wisdom to assist us. Human history has some very wise people starring in it, and some not so wise. So we have plenty of examples from which to learn. Gathering wiser people around us is, in fact, one of the wisest things anyone can do. We cannot always know it all, and a wise mentor or friend can not only save us from a poor decision, but also demonstrate how to be wise if we aren't quite there yet. And the companion stone for this card is fluorite, if you are into stones and crystals and metals. But I love this for us because really what I'm hearing loudly is that the most wisest friend and mentor that we can have is the divine. They see things from the big picture, from the high level, from eternity outside of time and space. So they do know it all. They understand how everything works, how our thread is intertwined amongst the giant tapestry. So when we are in need, I love this. It's like seek the universe, seek the creator, and they will, it's like raise your hand. I have a question, and they are definitely wanting to answer and help us. They won't mess with our free will while we're down here, but of our own free will, we can ask for assistance and guidance and signs and answers, and they're more than willing to assist us. I'm also going to pull a card here from the Shaman's Dream deck, just to see what else the creator would like us to know about this full moon energy that's coming in here. But it is beautiful. It just feels like a very beautiful transformative energy that's coming, like this awareness of what we're truly searching after, which is the Aquarian energy as well, because the Aquarian energy does bring clarity for us, what we're truly searching after, what we're truly hungry for. And so with this full moon, as it becomes whole and it doesn't fulfill us, it allows us to more, I don't want to say desperately search for, but it feels like, like you're in a desert and you are so thirsty and you get to a mirage and you take a big drink of dirt and you realize this is not making me quench my thirst at all. And so, the creator will bring you to a true oasis where there's living waters that do fulfill your thirst. In 22 as well, I kind of look at like the major arcana. There's like the first 7 cards of the major arcana are about us getting to know our ego, this human side of us. And then the 22 is like, and that would be master number 11. And master number 22 is like the next level where we realize there are 2 of us within us. We get kind of moved beyond our ego going, there's more to me than just this human form. There's this higher spiritualness. And this 22 is about, I see that there's 2 of me and that I have this connection to a higher place, to the universe, to this place of unconditional love. And it's about being able to see that we are spirit beings going around in human body suits, having a human experience. And then 33, that master number for me is like when they both join hands, instead of it being the ego is this thing over here and my spirit is over here. It's like we're one and the same. We're all together. We're part of one another. So I feel like this 22 is the spiritual journey part of you, seeing things from a different perspective and a higher point of view. All right, creator. Okay. Moving right along here, you got the jeweled web connectivity. So exactly as I was saying. And 32, it's almost to the 33. So it is this beautiful web that you're connected to, all the souls in all the heavens and all the galaxy. So I'll read from the book here too, but I feel like that's such a, exactly what I was talking about, the connectivity we have to the higher realms, to the more, the hidden, the things beyond us. Yeah, it says connectivity, no separation, the feeling state. So approaching any oracle requires you to come in with certain expectations. You're either looking for confirmation of what you already know, or attempting to shed light on what eludes you on the obvious path you're on. You're asking whether you will reach a desired goal of some kind. You're rarely able to see beyond memory or projection, and so naturally everyone comes to the oracle with a narrow perception of what's possible. Imagine that the answer to your question is not about landing at a particular destination, meeting a goal, connecting to a special lover, reaching an end game, or experiencing anything specific. Instead, you discover a shimmering web of jewels you didn't know existed. The world is interconnected in a living web of energy. It isn't possible to know how any of it works, but know this. What is your highest good? What's in your highest good is a sparkling jewel that lights up for you among this web of possibilities. You just need to know how you want to feel and choose this consciously. Take your focus off of getting anywhere. Practice feeling and being in a place where your desired experience has already come to pass. Who will you be when this is true for you? Can you be that now? Feel that now? Practice that. The better you know your path within this web of life, the more it will light up for you. It is celebrating you already. Perfect. And then we're also going to pull some clarification on these through these everyday tarot. See what else the Creator has for you. What other clarification, validation, or new information. All right, Creator, what else do you want those that chose reading number 3 to know? Okay, anything else? Okay, and last pass. Okay. So we will do these. So first, then this one, and then that one. So you've got the 10 of Pentacles, and that's all about abundance, gratitude, thankfulness. And not only just for yourself, but it's like this journey that you're on brings you this feeling of gratitude and abundance for generations to come. And the 10 of Pentacles also for me, because of this tree here, there's like this family tree, and it's because it's your impact on generations to come. It's also about breaking chains, about changing attitudes and things that have been passed down from generation to generation. And so first, let's talk about your bloodline. So with what's happened in your family line that, has been passed on from generation to generation. And it can, it doesn't necessarily need to be bloodline, because if you're adopted, you're still in that family tree. And so all those chains and all that stuff that's been passed down from generation to generation, that can be, like any kind of abuses, alcohol, sexual, drug abuse, any, physical abuse, those types of things. It can be attitudes, like extreme attitudes of perfection, or the opposite of, feeling where you have no drive whatsoever at all, and that you have no hope to live a dream and you feel trapped. Whatever those things are that have been passed down from a generation, this message is that you have the power to be the one that breaks that chain within your generation. and not only just, your children, but other children within that family tree and outside of your family tree whatsoever, the impact that you have with everyone that you come across. You have that ability to break chains that have been passed down over and over again. And Four of Wands. Wands is your drive, your ambition, your inspiration, your passions. And it's really a card of celebration and solidity. It's like, think of a four-leg table is very solid, right? And so this is about, this solid feeling of energy, feeling complete, feeling whole. And again, a lot of gratitude around this. So a lot of focus on being grateful for what you do have in your life rather than focusing on what's lacking and what's missing from your life. And you got the Six of Wands. So more wand energy, more support. And there's like two sides to this. If from the physical ego point of view, this is like you're going to get some external validation, some external recognition for you because you're on the horse and they're all cheering, yay, you did well. Also, the other side of this is the spiritual realm, and that these individuals here with these wands are bringers of spiritual messages for you about who you are and the pride that they have in you, the unconditional love that you have for you, where you do feel like this for the first time in your life, this beautiful connection to, when you're surrendering to the divine and you're connecting with the divine, you do feel the unconditional love, and you change from being this pauper victim mentality, like an orphaned child, like a redheaded stepchild, into this relationship of feeling like you're the only child of the Trinity with the Creator. You have the Divine Father, the Divine Mother, which can represent by Spirit or Holy Spirit, if depending on your faith, and then you're the only child. The Creator has the ability to be everywhere all at once, and so we don't have to share our attention and our relationship with the Creator with anyone else of our trillions and trillions and trillions of brothers and sisters. We get to have that relationship as an only child and to be spoiled like an only child from the Creator. So, and then I'm going to move this one over here because I feel like these two are for here. Yeah, okay, it makes sense. So Queen of Cups. The Ace of Cups this is the chalice, the Holy Grail, bringing the unconditional love of the Creator. You can see Queen of Cups for me is the intuition, it's emotions, and so she gets into the depths. It's a lot of the kind of the High Priestess energy of the major arcana, and you can see her connection. She has the universe in her hair, and so she has this connection all over the place to the higher realms, and that's what this jeweled web of connectivity is your connection to that the higher side of life, to those large expanse of beings of unconditional love and light, Creator, like we're talking about, the Holy Spirit and Spirit, guardian angels and angels, spirit guides, our loved ones who have been with us in this lifetime and past, ancestors from, especially, with this card here, ancestors being involved and connecting with them, unicorns, fairies, whatever your belief in beings of unconditional love and light is, this is your connection to that whole web. Yeah. Two of Pentacles. For me, this represents that too, because it's the higher self and our lower self or human self. And this beautiful, you can see this infinity symbol here. And that's what represents our higher self. And so just this connection that we have between the rocky emotional world and the higher world. And you can see he's wearing two different shoes. So it's walking upon this earth with both sides of that. You have your golden higher self and then your shadowed self. And so this is that connection that you have to the higher realms. And again, it's this beautiful ability to walk upon the earth joined together. Not that this is, this is the, human, and here I am up here as the higher spiritual self, but it's this joining together. And again, this 22, with that 2 coming in, that's what we're talking about with this card. And then lastly, you've got the 3 of Pentacles. And the 3 of Pentacles really has like this message of, there's 3 characters in here. One is the master of the trade. You have someone who is learning. They're like the trainee. I'm trying to think of the word that's skipping me now. When someone learns from a master, and I'll think of the word, but you probably already know what I'm talking about. Apprentice. Thank you. Apprentice. And then you have the other person who is not the master. They're not learning it, but they're just supporting it through their emotional support, financial support, whatever. And so this represents just 3 different points of view of your life, of the different characters that you play, the different individuals that come into your life. In fact, I feel like we need to pull this card to understand more what this is about here. And we're almost done with your reading here. We're going to pull this card here from the Sacred Creators deck here, because this is going to clarify that for us. It's going to bring us that wisdom we're looking for. Creators, to tell us more about what you want them to know about this card here. This blank space. Oh, okay. So the blank space here, this is your opportunity to create what you want to create. And that can come, and it can look like a variety of different ways. It doesn't have to look the same, but that you will be supported in whatever endeavor that you go forward with. But you might need to take a place of an apprentice in order to become a master at it, right? Okay. What else do you want them to know about this card? Okay. Yep, you got raw intention. And that's card number 22. Card number 22. I am enjoying this synchronicity. So raw intention, it says intention brought to life, wild power, savage love, divine intervention, powerful inspiration, channeling messages from source. The self-care message is holding on to the details too tightly, not allowing source to intervene. Missed opportunities, getting stuck in your story, unchecked emotion that is sabotaging your efforts. So it says intention can be raw or it can be refined. Refined intention gets polished and perfected and turned into marketing, a resume, a vision board, and it is always tinted by layers of our own perception. Raw intention is wilder than that. It's pure, unrefined, and authentic. It's the mother who lifts a car with her bare hands to save her child, because raw power does not ask questions, it just does. And so it is. By virtue of simply being human, you have this wild and natural magic inside you. And you may be spending too much time filtering your raw power as a way to fit in or as a way to be who others want you to be. Unleash your pure intention and you will radiate so much innate magic that you'll move mountains. Allow spontaneity and divine love to guide you, and pay attention to whim, desire, inclination, and impulse. If you notice any unwanted emotions surfacing like anger, sadness, fear, or guilt, simply be with them. Hear them, notice them. Ask them why they are present, and they will likely point to a much deeper need that sounds something like, I am seen, I am loved, I am accepted, I am safe. Remind yourself that you are all of these things and draw your power from there. Questions you can ask yourself. What are your wild and unkept intentions calling into your life? What needs to be heard? And can you work with them mindfully to build the life of your dreams? One way of channeling raw intentions is to do a little automatic writing. Ask your question to the universe and sit with an open mind, a blank page, like the blank space we're talking about, and a curious heart. Allow messages from the unconscious mind to flow onto your page. Just write or doodle and shift. Beautiful. Yeah, so definitely that makes so much sense now. This is that creativeness. This is that flowing. The number 3 is this is the number 3 of Pentacles. Of course, it's 3 is the number of creativity. So how are you expressing creatively this passion, this dream, these raw emotions that you want to express into the world? The real raw feelings. What do you really want to bring forth? What great work of art, what work, how do you want to make your life this amazing work of art? You have that capacity and ability to do that. And then last, we're going to be pulled this Making Magic little cards just to see what the final message the Creator has for all of you that chose reading number 3 for the full moon energy. And of course, the full moon energy, it amplifies your any energy, any emotion that you're feeling. So just know as you're going into this 3-week period that whatever you focus on is what's going to be expanded. So if you feel feelings of joy, you're going to feel very joyful. If you feel sad, you're going to feel very sad. And then when you recognize that, when you look up at the moon as it grows into its fullness, just be aware of the emotions that you're feeling and where your intentions and everything are going. And like it says, you can make a shift in any moment about how you're feeling, and choose differently. So you've got abracadabra with wings. So you have fantastic good fortune and lucky chances. So like all this was about good fortune, and focusing on your abundance and focusing that energy and what you do have, because that is the magician. That's our ability as manifestors, is whatever we focus on grows. And so like when this full moon energy is around, it amplifies our ability to whatever we focus on grows. So focus on gratitude, more things come into your life. Focus on lack, more lack comes into your life. And then you got spirit. So it says, heavenly assistance from your angels and guides. So, like we were talking about, calling upon the divine. And then you got water. Work with the element of water for healing, purification, and refinement. So really understanding what it is that you want in your life. And here's the Queen of Cups, and she's the element of water, right? So it's really the element of water is getting into that connection, getting into that clarity, getting into that a clearer connection with with spirit and all those beings from above there. And then you got fairy magic. And it says, respectively work with the fairies and elements to achieve your goals. So here is you working to achieve your goals. And so fairies, like I was mentioning, whether you believe in unicorns and fairies or whatever, it's working with spirit, with that amazing, huge support group you have of beings of unconditional love and light. I think I mentioned in this reading that they don't mess with your free will, so they will not come and assist you in any way unless you ask them to. There are things that you asked them before you came down here to do, and they're always busy doing that stuff, but they're also multitaskers, and they're like, yeah, we're waiting. They're like with bated breath. They're just like, are you going to ask me to do something while you're down here in this human form? And then we can, of our own free will, say, hey, I need some guidance in this. Can you give me some more creative ideas and other ways beyond what I'm seeing? Give me signs, give me answers, please. And I want you to, I usually, invite them in each day just to say, meddle in my life. Bring those situations and those experiences that are going to bring me my highest experience of unconditional love in this life, and whatever's for my highest experience. And they are definitely willing to assist for sure. So I love this energy for you for this full moon, and just know as you go through each and every single day, you are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things, and I love you too. You have an amazing full moon, and I can guarantee we will talk together very soon. You take care now.